Hey everybody, Tracy Brown here today. Good morning. So we are going to talk about when things feel hard. Maybe I don't know if this is the most fun topic to talk about, but it's going to happen. We're human. In the years to come, when you're not worried about food or weight anymore, you're still going to be a human who gets stuck with something. Or something's frustrating, or you're just in a situation where it's just things are out of your control and it's difficult, and you're going to be doing the best you can to navigate that. So because you're watching this, I know that you have interest in not only just all the good aspects about like making peace with food and weight and body, but what do you do when you're stuck or you feel terrible and maybe you're feeling like there's not much hope that things are going to change, or you don't feel that motivated, or you're hitting a rough patch where you thought that you kind of had some things figured out. So good morning everybody who's watching live. So what I'm going to say when you're feeling like I'm kind of catching myself, hopefully in not too many days of a certain pattern that you have. So let's say that one of your patterns is, I'm kind of catching myself wanting to skimp on lunch, or I'm kind of catching myself pushing meals, like basically like waiting longer periods of time than I should to eat. Or maybe you're finding that there's just a certain part of the day that's just really difficult, and that had gotten better, and now you're finding yourself back in that little loop again of doing that thing. So I'll give you an example. I once had a client, and I think this is pretty common, so I'm not talking about anybody specific. I'm just thinking about somebody I worked with a long time ago. And, she was in a really difficult situation with work, and, the habit was to come home and eat, regardless of what time she had lunch. It didn't matter. And, and whenever she was able to be more present and when some things were more settled in her life, that action actually dissipated quite a bit, and she was aware of it. She was aware that she needed to create some spaciousness for herself and create a transition between work and home. She recognized that's something she worked really hard on. And then when a big stressor came into her life, that thing wanted to come back in because it still had like a neural pathway there. It had not been that many months that behavior had changed. And then she had to recognize first that I'm feeling that bingey feeling even before I get home right now, which if I don't create some space around that, I'm going to go home and eat, a box of Frosted Flakes, possibly, if I don't tend to myself right now. So step one, if you're feeling like, you're falling back on eating enough, or you're pushing meals, or whatever behavior you've got going on, and I'm just going to list them out so you don't feel like I'm not seeing you as restricting, binging, purging. I'll run down the list: chewing, spitting, pushing off meals, not getting groceries, diet pills, laxatives, whatever it is. And those might seem extreme, but you can take all the variants off that. Maybe it's that at lunchtime you're eating lunch, but you're like just kind of skimming, getting satisfied, or you're struggling to find those last couple bites that would feel like enough, and we're kind of consistently going 5 bites over or something. If that's an old pattern for you, just recognizing that one, you're already a lot of the way there to giving yourself what you need. So step 2 is if this is something you've never really had a lot of quote unquote success with, I want you to think about, well, what do you need? Like, what does your system actually need right now? If you're recognizing that I'm having a really hard time getting in, let's say, lunch fully, that I know that I need, I've been kind of not giving myself the full portion. One, what does that feel like, and what is that like for you? And what would it be like if you had something different? And what would have to change? So as you're listening to this, I'm going to keep talking, but you might want to go get paper and pencil if you need to, and write some of this stuff down, because I'm actually giving you some tips to some things that I work on with people. So that's your thing. For some people, it's just, again, we need to create that space again, that maybe the space of like going from one thing to another has gotten squeezed. So it's like you're working, and you're sitting working all day long, and you're kind of getting not checked out, but a little bit less connected or embodied with in yourself. Then I would say that maybe setting alarms again on your phone to remind you to get up and just stretch and feel that you have a body would be helpful. Sorry, got an interruption there. If you're feeling like that, you need more help with transitions between home and work, or work and home, create that for yourself. Meaning, before you get out of your car to go into the next thing, whether take a minute to feel your feet and just or your hands on the steering wheel, or I'm just giving you some little things that you could start with. And there's way, 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 way more that you could really get into depth with and create your own little, something I'm working on is called a sensory plan, to be able to really tune in to what your body needs to settle, what your body needs to feel like it's got some vitality to it, to help you be more connected, to help you feel more content and alert but peaceful, and all those kind of things. So look out for that in the months to come, because it's kind of a big endeavor. But you're creating something where people can learn how to pick from different lists to make their own little plan of, what does my body need to be more grounded, to be more attuned to not just my hunger fullness needs, but my needs for feeling safe and connected and all those kind of things. So working on that, among many things. But yeah, I'm hoping this is helpful. I think it's really important that when you're feeling discouraged, or you're feeling frustrated, or you're doing something you don't want to be doing, and you kind of know what you want to be doing, but you feel like there's a big gap that you can't quite get there, take another step back and just recognize, okay, this is where I'm at. This is what's been going on. This is how I've been feeling. And, what do I need? Because the food, it's almost like there's an iceberg, and the food and body talk and behaviors are at the tip of that. Underneath the water here, there's a whole bunch of other stuff going on that needs our attention. So, there's body image, talk, and it's louder right now here at the top. Know underneath that there's something that really needs your attention. And, everybody's an individual. So this video would get hours and hours long. But that's what I got my self-study for you to kind of pick and choose what's going on for you and match up the right thing that you need to do with whatever situation you've got. But, yeah, for the most part, I want you to be thinking about, okay, so if something's feeling hard, whether it's being with myself, let's say that I'm not really actually restricting or binging right now, and it's really hard to be with myself. Okay, so is there a way that feels a little bit more okay to be with yourself? Maybe meditating just freaks you out and that's not working for you. Well, maybe you need to be standing and feel your feet on the ground, and I spend a lot of time outside because that's really helpful to me. And so you get outside and you notice the shapes and the colors and the sensations and the breeze and whatever animals are chirping or whatever's going on to help you. There's a reason why I do a lot of videos outside, not only just for me, but for you all too. Music might be really helpful. I'm just kind of putting something out there for you to help you to recognize that to get out of your head, you might have to engage your other senses to help you. All right, so that's all for today. Just wanted to give this encouragement to you, and to recognize that these autopilot things that we've done for a really long time, it feels like, because other things might feel overwhelming, that's what our only option is, and switching it can feel really difficult. I get that. So you don't have to overwhelm yourself or feel like you have to be perfect of getting back on track, but start somewhere. Start what's doable. Give yourself, slow it down and give yourself more time and space to feel more comfortable, and then keep growing that and keep growing that. And if you're noticing I'm just having a hard time being with myself and the boredom is really difficult, or maybe it's not, and maybe it feels like boredom, but maybe it's just I just feel more sensation, I don't know if I like it, then, like I said, give yourself some other things to go back and forth to that are pleasurable. Whether it's, I have a lot of clients that love art, but they don't do it enough, or projects. They don't let themselves have that enough. And that starts to bump into, I know, worth issues and things like that, of giving yourself, like, that time and space to do things that are pleasurable. And most of the time, the things that are pleasurable have some sensory things to it. And so you deserve that, because you're really struggling to get out of this old looping. So give yourself the things that might give you pleasure. Okay, so I hope that was helpful. And I'm going to put down the link to my self-study where you can go into a lot more depth, a lot more. This is fleshed out for you to figure out. Or, of course, you could call me and we could talk about, too, what you need to really get clear about what needs to happen so you can get out of this looping. But for now, I just want to give you a start around, don't give up if you feel frustrated, if you feel stuck about something. If you're doing something you don't want to be doing, there is a reason for it, but we have to build some more resources to where the time and the intensity that you find yourself in this space is just, it's growing more apart, meaning it's not as necessary or needed anymore. So I hope this was helpful. Sorry whoever's popping on later. I'm just finishing up, so you have to start back from the beginning. But thanks for watching, and I will talk to y'all soon. Take care. Bye.